A silent storm rises from the imperial capital of Wei, threatening the fragile final years of ancient Champa. Episode 3, Shadow over Citadel. A deadly, silent power struggle between two giant figures begins. Light reflects softly on Tingtum Lake water surface. The architecture blends seamlessly into deep nature. I stand in the quiet space of King Gia Long tomb. Early morning sunlight filters through ancient pines. It evokes a profound sense of a bygone worldly order, yet it retains its inherent majestic dignity here. Inside the sacred inner chamber, the royal resting place remains untouched. History echoes quietly through the ancient stone. Standing right here before the founder emperor tomb, I feel clearly that the year 1820 was fateful. As an archaeologist searching for ancient civilizations, I believe every structure hides its own. It marked the tragic end of a peaceful era. It opened deep fractures across Panduranga land. Emperor Gia Long drew his very last breath here. He carried away the soft oath of peace with him, an oath built carefully with Thuan Thahung Champa. His passing was not just a change of ruler. It destroyed the sole personal pillar of stability. This pillar had guarded Champa for 2 decades. 2 years later, in the tragic year 1822, the outstanding Cham leader Po Saong Nyung Cheng passed away. He was a close friend and trusted loyal ally. He fought alongside Gia Long against Thay Sun. Investigating deep historical records reveals truth. Autonomy under Gia Long rested on no rigid law, nor did it rely on long-term formal treaties. It was anchored by deep personal ties instead. 2 leaders shared trust built in hardships. When both founding leaders passed away forever, that protective personal shield vanished completely, paving the way for a new historical reality, where lonely Cham brick towers stand, baking beneath the scorching sun of Panduranga. Ancient Nung brick monuments remain standing still, but a dark shadow from Hue Citadel extends far. It prepares to cover all local indigenous life. I step inside the archive room of Chau Ban records. I carefully examine high-resolution digital scans. These primary petitions start from Minh Mang Year 1. Touching these primary sources brings deep emotion. Sharp black Han characters show royal decrees. Red vermilion ink comments reveal royal thoughts. These are living traces of an active ideology. Deciphering Chau Ban reveals a new emperor image. Emperor Minh Mang differed greatly from his father. Gia Long was a general emerging from long war. He held practical views and accepted decentralization. Soft management kept national peace and order. In contrast, Minh Mang was a deep Confucian scholar. He worshipped strict Confucian centralization. In his view, a strong nation required unity. It needed one single legal code overall, one unified administrative system from top down. All regions had to follow one cultural standard. Thus, Minh Mang viewed Cham autonomy with suspicion. He dreamed of building a fully unified Dia Nam. Imperial power had to reach every small village. In this new system, Cham state was unacceptable. It was no symbol of early imperial harmony. Instead, it was an unacceptable loose structure, a dangerous remnant of past decentralization, an administrative void threatening royal dignity. I examine official reports sent from Binh Thuan. Vietnamese local officials wrote them after 1820. They complained about local Cham autonomy daily. They disliked Cham people keeping distinct laws. Managing local native populations was difficult. Officials urged Wei to enforce Nguyen court laws. They pushed for direct control over Panduranga. Capital ideology turned into concrete actions. Policies spread across Cham fields and villages. I imagine Vietnamese official teams arriving. They appeared in growing numbers in Cham hamlets. They no longer acted as passive outer monitors. Officials entered native daily living spaces. They interfered directly in Cham trial courts. They seized control over local population lists. They weakened traditional Cham noble authority. Observing the political map of that era now, I point out coastal and mountain buffer zones. These were once free trading spaces for the Cham. They traded with global ships and mountain tribes. Under Gia Long, Cham merchants traded freely. They harvested agarwood ki nam and rare ivory. They paid only small, symbolic annual tributes. Tribute showed symbolic submission to Wei court. But Chau Ban and Di Nam Thuk Luk prove shifts. Emperor Minh Mang tightened natural resources. Free trade rights were completely dismantled. Cham gatherers were forced to sell to state agents. Official prices were fixed far below market rates. Furthermore, Wei sent teams to survey all land. Surveying teams covered all Thuan Thang fields. Flexible tribute payments were abolished entirely. A strict agricultural land tax was introduced. Taxes were classified like Vietnamese provinces. Cham farmers faced Chinese land registry books. Heavy tax burdens weighed down native families. Sudden policy shifts disrupted traditional life. It struck a heavy blow to native social order. The peaceful Thuan tree era closed forever. Linking these historic events reveals more. Tensions were not isolated regional disputes. They tied into a higher political power game. The core struggle lay in Gia Dinh city court. Gia Dinh held direct jurisdiction over the south. This included direct oversight of Thuan Thang. Viceroy Le Van Duyet served as supreme governor. He was a glorious founding hero of the dynasty. He fought alongside Gia Long through dangers. As a seasoned general knowing southern lands, Le Van Duyet held a different political vision. He strictly respected Gia Long decentralization. For him, frontier stability was top priority. Reassuring native people mattered most of all. Forced administrative assimilation was risky. Forcing Cham to yield fast invited rebellion. From 1820 to 1828, Le Van Duyet used power. His immense prestige protected Thuan Thang land. He acted as the final solid protective shield. He blocked harsh Wei decrees from entering. A silent but fierce struggle unfolded above. Minh Mang sought to erase local autonomy. Le Van Duyet fought hard to keep status quo. Small Cham state hung fragile in between. Royal Cham archives held in Paris show details. Combined with deep research by Dr. Po Dharma, a complex psychological picture emerges now. Cham nobility stood trapped between two lines. They felt heavy pressure from Minh Mahang policy. Central policies threatened native identity, yet they had to seek Le Van Duyet protection. Internal splits appeared among Cham leaders. Some elders urged concessions for safety. Young elites harbored rising anti-official anger. Old Cham petitions preserved in Paris speak out. They express pain of a suffocating community. I slowly closed the digital scroll on screen, closing a document chapter filled with shifts. The years 1820 to 1828 formed a risky transition. Citadel Confucian shadows covered Panduranga. Ancient autonomy built on oaths barely survived. It relied solely on Le Van Duyet protection. This was an extremely fragile existence now. No individual can resist the march of time, nor stop the iron will of an absolute emperor. I step out from the quiet archive room space. I look south toward Gia Dinh on the map. I know historical pacing will accelerate fast. As Le Van Duyet's shield weakens with old age, cracks between him and Minh Mang deepen further. Wei Court will execute its decisive final move. They will settle the Cham question once for all. Clandestine mind games are drawing to a close, giving way to open storm conflicts in Episode 4. Final visual contrast highlights the drama. Stern Emperor Minh Mang sits on throne in Wei. Lonely Viceroy Le Van Duyet stands in Gia Dinh. In between lies fragile small Panduranga land, a dry leaf waiting before incoming historical storm. How will the tripod balance shatter in the south? What fateful choices awaited the last Cham leaders? Join us in Episode 4, The Tripod Balance next. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell for the upcoming storm. Leave your thoughts on Minh Mang policies below.